What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today I'm so excited. I ordered an engine pretty much the same time I got this car, and a week and change later it is here, and very excited, and I can't wait to share this moment with you guys. So before I share this engine with you guys, I just want to let you know with this particular car, so you already know it's an 8th gen Civic Si. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave a link up top so you can see the whole video about this car. And so this car has a 2.0 K20, and they're known to be robust, high rev and fun cars. So when I was looking it up, I realized these boys are expensive, rightfully so, right? So I decided to take the alternative route, which most Honda guys did, because it's considered a recommended choice. And yeah, I think you guys like it too. So this is the engine. It's a K24A or A2. It has a RBB head, and it is a high compression. So this is the engine I got. I'm very excited with this idea. Looking at the other side of the engine, you can see everything else seems intact. So I like the fact that they gave me its own components as well. Throttle body. Let's see, we got a starter right here. We got the AC, the alternator, and this most likely would be the power steering. If I just take a gander down there, I don't know if you can see, but it's just dried oil. The real test really is two things. Well, technically it should be three, but because the engine is sitting down, we're just gonna focus on two things right now. We're gonna go ahead and take the valve cover gasket and just take a look inside. What we're looking for is, like, you know, sludge and anything that's not supposed to be. You know, the only thing I should see is oil. And then obviously we're gonna do the turn test. So we're gonna turn it a couple times to see if all parts are moving and moving freely as well. So this is pretty much what you really need right now. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna focus on that later. But we're gonna go ahead and use this with a 19 socket. That's what you need for the crank, and pretty much you use a 10 socket because it's mostly 10 to get the valve cover off. And if that valve cover decides to be stubborn, you just use like a screwdriver or something to pry it out. One of these little crowbars, so I could use that just to help me. And yeah, so let's see if we get this off. I'm gonna go ahead with this 10 socket, gun, ratchet, whatever you got. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these bolts off the cover. Right under these, you have cold packs. So it should be back there. So we'll fetch it out. So it's just the cover. Put that aside. Remove these coil packs. Oh yeah, so these two right here you want to get removed as well. So it seemed like most of these bolts are pretty much the same size, just 10, which is pretty convenient. So we get coil packs out. Now, next thing we want to do, go ahead and remove all these bolts that pretty much hold the valve cover itself. So, knock that out. Oh, there. So that bolt just shot out. Oh. So that. I think that's all. It doesn't matter. So we got all bolts across here, all the bolts around. So there's nothing around here. Last thing, which should have been the first, go ahead and remove the dipstick. Dipstick out of the way. Then see if we get some clearance off of this power steering line. Just check one more time, make sure there's no special wires, nothing, you know, important that you might break. It's pretty much simple as it is. Got all the bolts off. Use this tool right here, like I said. Go ahead and pry that sucker out. Just try to get any point where you can pry it out. There we go. Get a leverage right here. It comes right off. Just like that. Oh yeah. A little tight, but it could do. Put the valve cover aside. And then as you can see right here. So I looked in the middle where the contact is mostly meat, and you kind of have to feel for it. You know, just something obvious, like if you feel like uneven wear, that's a big red flag. So far, I'm not seeing anything irregular. The dark spots you see are just dried oil, so that shouldn't be frightening. In fact, let me get a light just to verify. So taking a closer look, and I'm seeing a couple like dirt, but not necessarily dirt, just dry oil, you know, stuff that's kind of normal for a car sitting for, or I said the engine should sitting for a while. Do not see anything concerning for the most part. Yeah, it looks pretty decent for what it is, to be honest with you. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we could even turn this sucker. After turning it for a bit, shows no sign of any issues, no difficulty cranking it or turning it. So I've done it a couple more times, paying attention to it, see if there's anything off about it, but so far so good. So also I paid attention to the timing chain as well, just to see how it looks. For the most part, it's intact as well. I don't see anything off, nothing obvious. Chain doesn't sag. Everything seems really good. I'm very happy so far. So with these, I think I'm good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the valve cover back on. So the other stuff that we need relating to this, you're gonna need a lot of Honda Bond. So I bought 2 of these bad boys. Maybe one for now, one for the future. We're gonna need the bracket. So I got this from a 2003 Honda CR-V. So they highly recommend using this bracket for the build. I went ahead and I replaced the rear main. I'm gonna replace the rear main seal just because opportunity is right there. So knock that out. And of course, we're going to replace the valve cover gasket because we definitely need to do that. The old one looks really bad, and just want to have a fresh start for that. And then, the most importantly, we have to use the oil pan. So, if you haven't seen the old video, you can look that up. But the old oil pan is pretty much banged up. There's a hole in it, so we can't use the old oil pan. So I had to purchase a new one, and it looks pretty good. Pretty solid. Can't wait to put this on the car. Main reason why we need to use the K20 oil pan, because the K20 or the 8th gen SI, the way it's designed, where these two right here, these are basically the mount brackets or threads to put the bracket in for the engine mount in the back of it. So that's actually very important to do. That's why you need these two, because you need something to hold that engine together. So these are going to connect to the bracket, to the engine mount, to the subframe to keep that engine in place. And then pretty much everything is identical. We're going to use Honda Bond for this. We're going to use old bolts because they're pretty much in good shape when I took them out. So we're going to use old bolts to put these suckers on. And yeah, that's it. This is basically the let me show you right now. It's for the bumper trim bracket right here. So it's pretty banged up. Previous owner, he had to use glue just to keep the bumper together, and when I took a closer look, I realized this thing is pretty much banged up, it's broken. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy 2 new ones. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is the end of the video. I am super excited of putting this engine in that car. We're gonna have its first start and everything. But Go ahead, leave a comment and concerns. If you have any questions and all that, if you just want to share some more Honda stuff, I'm all ears, guys. I would love to hear your story. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to see more coming soon, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you the next time. Peace.
Shots fired, them niggas running like they hear something. Mob ties, we hit your block and disappear something. Glock 9s and 45, we leave your block fraud. Ever since I lost my door, can't stop at stop signs. Shots fired, them niggas running like they hear something. Mob ties, we hit your block and disappear something. Glock 9s and 45, we leave your block fraud. Ever since I lost my door, can't stop at stop signs.